Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. I'm Kristen from Form Kitchens. I spend most of my time talking to customers and thinking about customer experience, but today we've got two of our design experts on board. So you're here hopefully to ask any questions that you want about Form Kitchens, and we've got Eva and Renesis here who are two really experienced designers. They work a lot with customers coming in and have worked a long time in the industry. So I think they'll have all the answers you need. And if there's anything we don't get to today, we'll come back to you guys with the follow up on that. And of course, you'll get a recording afterwards if there's anything you want to go back over. So I'm going to work through the questions that come through. You've got the chat function or the Q&A function below, so please use those. And we'll work our way through the questions. And we really hope you enjoy the 30 minutes. Okay. So first one coming up here, we've got a message from, actually this was someone who couldn't make the webinar, so I'm going to start with that question, and it's about style blending. Eva, I'm going to head to you first. This person's wondering, she says, I like modern kitchens, but the rest of my house is more traditional, more transitional. So just wondering if that look can work, mixing the two.
Absolutely. And I'd say that we work together on bringing kind of softening modern kitchens. You can use it with textures and bringing some warm woods or finishes in the counters and the backsplash. That's a way to blend those two styles pretty well. Personally, I have it in my own home. So I have a very traditional craftsman house and a very modern kitchen. They work well together because they let you focus on what's the molding in a different place or the lines of the cabinetry. They lend each other to blend nicely and let you focus on the individual parts of the cabinets.
Brilliant, brilliant. Always good to hear when you've got your own form kitchen as well for the background information. This one's about installers, actually. Renesis, one for you. So do we have installers and do we work with installers?
Yeah, Form itself, we don't have a Form team installer, team, but we have partnered with featured installers. So we have them all around the States. You can find them in our website under our products, about Form, and then go into featured installer section and you can find somebody close to your home. Then you can see their projects, their contact information, and see, there's a guarantee that they've worked with the Form product before. So they're going to deliver quality labor. Yep.
Perfect. Eva, one for you. Just wondering, this person's wondering about CAD files. Do we offer Revit or CAD files?
Unfortunately, we don't. Our software just does not translate to them. We don't release them out. There's no way to export them. I'm happy to take CAD files, not Revit files, but we can measure off them and make sure they work with our system and files, but we can't export and import them, unfortunately.
Good to hear the clarity on that. But thinking about finishes, Renesis, I'll come your way. So this person's asking about our anti-fingerprint surfaces. Can you tell me a bit more about whether they have a slight sheen, or are they actually really, really matte?
Yeah, they're pretty matte, but they're really soft to the touch. They feel like velvet. That's the best way that I could describe it. So they're really even and they're matte, so no sheen, the anti-fingerprint coating. Actually, and to add something about the CAD files or Revit, our program, it does export with elevation, so you will get elevations with measurements, so that might help on that. Yes.
Good aid, thank you. Eva, timelines and costs. This is a question that obviously a lot of people ask and interested in. This person's saying, what is a typical timeline and cost for a form kitchen?
Timeline, it usually takes us about 10 to 14 days to turn around a design for you once we meet. And then once that point happens, that's up to you. It can take up to as few as a few weeks to get that finalized design, or I've had people take years working with permits and other situations, but we can be pretty quick. You just need to kind of talk to us about it. From there, once the design time is done, the order has to be placed, and that really depends on where you are in the country. On the East Coast, it can be as little as 10 weeks. On the West Coast, it's as long as 14 to 16 weeks to get there from Germany.
And cost-wise, what sort of a good benchmark for people to kind of get their bearings, at least? Obviously, every kitchen's different. But...
I would usually say our average kitchen is anywhere from 25 to 30,000 for all of our cabinetry, and to get some of the fun functionality that we're known for.
And actually, that's a good point, because we do have different levels of functionality, so people can kind of make it work with their budget. Technology, do we incorporate tech into our kitchens? So things like audio, or it could be some sort of electrical panels this person's asking about.
Yeah, so we can work with the client or with the general contractor on the project. So we'll make sure that anything or any system that you're using in your property can be included in the kitchen. For example, like storage for my cables or my security system. So we'll plan for that. As part of the form platform, we can give your contractor access as well, so they can work directly with us. So the communication is a bit more clear. But yeah, we can integrate anything that you're using in your property into our cabinetry. It's just a matter of discussing it and just being on the same page and having all the details and specs of the, whatever you're planning on doing.
Right. Oh, here's a good one. Hiding appliances. Okay, it's kind of got two sections to it. So I'm going to fire this your way, Eva. What are the options for hiding appliances? And do we offer anything like a pocket door that once open can slide in and be hidden?
So easy one is we offer a tambour door that slides up and rolls down. It comes in a few different colors, and that cabinet automatically comes with outlets included in it. That's the easiest solution. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of those pocket door systems that are trending right now on social media a lot, that where the door slides in. We have had a few clients purchase all the panels and us kind of figure it out with their contractor and how to do it on site. But standalone, that option at this moment, that's not something we have in our extensive catalog. But I wish we keep asking, maybe one day.
This one's kind of related. It's about customization. This person's saying, I have an odd shaped space. How much customization is too much for form? Renesis, you want to go?
I mean, form can customize on width and heights. Usually we keep it in a box setting, so no curves, for example. We can work with curves, environments, and layouts. It's just a matter of aligning the cabinets properly. So I guess doing a curved cabinet, that will be too much for form. But yeah, no, we can work. We have over 3,000 cabinets, so we try to stick to the catalogs. But if we need for some, special solutions, we can always customize in height, width, depth, to make it work on any layout. We have a lot of, we work with the smallest kitchens that you can ever imagine to the biggest ones, and we always make it work. It's just a matter of good design.
Good design and good communication. Yeah. Eva, I'm going to throw this your way because you have installed your own kitchen. It's about installation costs, which I know vary a lot, I think, in different parts of the states and different geographies. But what is a broad estimation of installation costs? And I think we probably have to give a broad answer depending on where you live. But do you want to have a shot at that?
Installation costs. Usually it's, there's always more than just the kitchen, right? You've got appliances, counters, backsplash, plumbing, all of those things are being changed. So, and sometimes even flooring. So it's not just the cabinets that are happening. So that's why the range gets so long. I usually estimate, say 20-30% of, what your budget is towards installation. And as always, I recommend talk to at least 3 different installers. They're going to give you 3 different prices and 3 different answers, and you can kind of take it from there. It's so hard to give a price on that because it varies so much project to project and location to location.
We hate to be that person.
What's that, Renesis?
Yeah, but we hate to be that person every time a client asks, but it really depends. And it'll be kind of irresponsible from our side to say, oh, it's going to cost you $1,000, but we don't know the whole scope of the project. So it's really important to have that GC involved.
I've always told clients, you never know what's going to happen when you open up those walls. If you're moving something like electricity, anything that's going to be, can change. And those are unknown things that I can't account for, until, further down the line.
Absolutely. And if it's helpful to anyone who's on the webinar today, we have a project handbook, which has a section on budgeting, and we've got 9 cost drivers in there. So they're quite handy to kind of work through to find a budget that you're comfortable with and the sorts of things that to factor into it. So, and certainly with installation, the cost will depend on also the size of your kitchen. Are you moving utilities, changing layouts and so on? There's a lot of factors, as the guys are saying, but do dive into the handbook. It might just help narrow down some of those factors for you to focus on for quoting. Oh, here we go. This is a numbers test for the designers. Can you produce upper cabinets that are 24 inches in depth and 42 in height?
Yeah, that's going to be a custom high board, what we call it. But yeah, we can produce it. 24 inches in depth. It's going to be 23 inches in depth. It could be installed at 24. And then 42 will be, it's fine. We can customize that height. But yes.
Brilliant. Oh, here you go, Eva. This is about favorite things to do in a corner. So the question is, what is your favorite thing to do in a corner on an L-shaped kitchen for the uppers? So focusing on the uppers.
So for me, I think it's making sure that there's functionality there, that I'm not giving you a dead corner. So for me, it'd probably be one that looks more like an L shape. We have ones that are just a narrow one, but I like the L-shaped one because it gives you access to all the corners when you open it. You open one door and then you open the other door. So you're not reaching in and hiding, like trying to struggle. That as a short person, I want the most access. So I try to give the most functionality whenever I'm designing a corner.
Yeah. Another question here on pre-assembly. So the question is, I read your cabinets arrive pre-assembled. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, they're produced in Germany and they're shipped fully assembled to your door. They'll come with once you start the installation process, you'll have to take the jars out, but then you can slide them in fairly easily, so you don't have to put them together. One of the things that I always say is that your cabinets are as good as your contractor. So if you had to put together your cabinets, they're gonna be as good as them. So with us, you get the guarantee that they're gonna be all assembled the same way and through the same quality, check and process with our manufacturing process. So yeah, those are pretty cool. You save a lot in labor now that we had a lot of questions about installation and all that. It's very important to know and be conscious of that. Flat pack cabinets, they're going to charge you to install those. So that money that you save maybe in the kitchen, it's going to be charged on the installation process. So that's really one of the more the benefits that we have with that.
Yeah, arriving ready to go. So this one is about, okay, yeah, so I'm just catching up here. Right, so this one is about inspiration more. So I know what I like when I see it, but it's hard to describe. I think you designers might often have that feeling when you're talking with clients at the beginning. Any advice for this person who wants to sort of narrow their vision down?
Start collecting photos and pictures of what you do like. Just start putting them together and you'll probably start seeing correlations with what you like, that you'll start saying, hey, I keep pulling things that are blue. I obviously am drawn to that. I keep pulling things that have a white, like an overhang waterfall in my kitchen. So start pulling pictures together and you'll probably start narrowing down what you like. And then always share it with us. We can start narrowing it down. That's what we're here for. You're here to use our brain, and we want to hear what you have to say so we can take what you're saying and put it down into paper or in a rendering.
This one's kind of related, actually. Someone's talking about having looked at an inspiration guide. Okay, so I've looked at your inspiration guide. Can you guys help me with paint, and I'm just looking at paint and other things to finish the design?
Yeah, as part of the initial design process, when you get a quote from Form, you're gonna get a set of renders. And we as designers, when we do those renders, we pick stools, lighting, tiles, if you're open to that. Flooring sometimes. I've done a bunch of recommendations and we send those links to the client in case they want to buy them. So yes, we do help the client think about the whole space, not just the kitchen, but how it's going to affect the rest of the property in the house.
Perfect.
With that being said, I will say paint is subjective. So that's why we send you samples to match with our cabinet so you can see
Yeah.
everything in a real light and not just guess.
Yeah.
My finish is sand, and does it match? I hope so.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
you won't have that guesswork. You'll have a sample in hand.
Also, Form has partnered with Backdrop and Fire Clay. So if you, I mean, usually use them as a reference for the renders. So you can get those at a discounted price as well if you go with Form or from Form.
Question here about estimates actually, and it relates to the estimate which is on the estimator, which is on the website, but obviously working with you guys as well. So the question is, can you estimate the cost based on per linear feet?
Our estimator does that in a broad range. It gives you a low, medium, and high price on that. So it will kind of generate some kind of quote based on what handles, if you want lighting, if you have upper cabinets. Talking to us can fine-tune that estimate a little bit more, because that estimate doesn't, for example, say, hey, every appliance in my kitchen is going to be paneled, or I want a second height of cabinets above me. When you talk to us and give us more detail, we can maybe fine-tune that estimate a little bit closer to what you need. But that first linear one is a good jumping point.
Another one about, I guess it's about information. So thinking about installation, how much support can you give me working with installers?
Yeah, so again, as part of the process, we prepare you with an installation pack, which is a deck of, a PDF with all the instructions step by step of how to install your kitchen. Before we deliver the kitchen, you get a pre-installation meeting with you, your contractor, and our team to go over any questions, doubts, concerns, anything that you need to know before you get those cabinets in. And during the installation process, you'll have a dedicated customer success team member assigned to your project. So you can call or text or email, have meetings if there's something that, hey, I'm not understanding this, or, or maybe you want another piece of cabinetry, something happens, you have that person dedicated to you. So yes, we do support in that part as well.
And we're still there as designers too. We still see the correspondence. We're not going to just leave you hanging. We're there from the initial call that you talk to us until the final. Until you have a finished kitchen.
And then if you use the featured installers as well, that's a guarantee that that person already knows the product. So it's a bit more of an easier installation process because they've worked with Form before. So that's also a benefit of those featured installers.
And that network is growing daily. So if you need somebody or you don't see anybody, ask us. We probably do have somebody.
Yeah.
Another one about costs here related to demolition costs, which of course is happening at kind of the homeowners end. But the question is, can you say a bit about demolition costs and who does that?
We are relying on you as the homeowner to have a contractor to do the demolition, installation, and any of the finish work. We are really providing. We can walk you through how all of that happens, but cost-wise, it's really up to your GC to help you price that out and what that entails.
Great. This one's about streamlining. So someone is asking, how do I get that look where everything lines up perfectly in one row of cabinets?
Yeah, usually having integrated appliances will do that. When you have panel-ready appliances, they will look just like furniture. So that's one of the, of course, you have to consider, there's a lot of things going on with that, with that thought. Of course, budget, panel-ready appliances are a bit more expensive, so you have to account for those. And also the panel that's gonna go in your appliance. But to get that seamless look, I think built-in appliances and picking the right finishes. For example, if it's a flat front, definitely that will give you that more clean look than a shaker style. So that's another thing for that.
And this one's kind of related. So do I pick all the appliances before I get in touch with Form, or can you help me with those decisions?
We can do both. We can definitely, if you have an idea on what you want, that definitely helps us work a little bit faster. But if you need help with that, we have we're happy to talk about it, and we actually have a book that we've created that gives you a good jumping start on, basic appliance, like just average good appliances, all the way up to the big Sub-Zero guys that cost, $10,000 and the range in between. So we're there we can definitely help you walk through and guide you and give advice.
Oh, this is one of my favorites. So what are the most popular things on the inside of the cabinets that people always ask for?
Yeah, pots and pans. I think people have way too many pots and pans. They always want the inserts to arrange pots and pans. That's the first one. Corner units. Old kitchens, they tend to have that corner voided, and now with the new kitchen technologies and all that, we have pull-out shelves that you can take all the way out from the cabinet, so you can access that black hole, like I call it. So I think my favorite things will be inserts for pots and pans, silverware, and those corner units for sure. I don't know about you, Eva. What's your favorite one? I mean, you have a form kitchen, but what's your favorite one?
I've said it and I'm all over the internet. It's the trash. That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I love the trash, and I like organizing my oils and spices. So as I'm cooking, that comes out, salt, pepper, olive oil, and then I can slide it right back in, and it keeps my counter looking really clean, and that's important to me as I'm cooking.
The blind garages are pretty cool as well, because you can have them open, and if there's like clutter or anything, you should just close it out and it's always there. So those are pretty cool as well. You can have like a coffee bar or like an actual bar. So that's pretty nice.
Ooh. And something else, someone else is wondering about favorites. It's about finishes and surfaces. So what surfaces and colors are most popular right now? What are you hearing a lot of?
I would say for me, it's been textures and warm neutrals have been what people have been asking of me, kind of mixing everything together, and that some of the concrete stone looks, some of the taupey warm colors, and then a lot of texture with, the kind of the kitchen behind me actually is what I've been requested a lot lately.
How about you, Renesis?
So I think it's the same, more neutrals, and people clients are moving from the cold to the warm era. So it's like neutrals like taupey and beigey and brownish, and textures more like bringing that nature into the kitchen. So same for me. Dark colors as well. I love dark kitchens. Like I love black cabinets. They're scary sometimes, but with the right lighting, you can make them work. And with the right countertops as well. So yeah, I think neutrals, just neutrals and earthy, warmer tones.
Actually, you touched on lighting. No one's asked this, but I think it's an important one, so I'll ask it. Can you tell the attendees a little bit about the integrated lighting in our cabinetry and how that works, given how important it is?
Sure. We have quite a few different types of integrated lighting. It's can be built into the bottoms of our cabinets and shelving. It's low voltage LED. All of our lighting is low voltage LED. It can be a warm white to a cool white, and it's all dimmable. That we also have, you can see it behind them over my shoulder, channel lighting, integrated door or drawer lighting, toe kick lighting. There's a lot of ways to light your space. It's just a matter of talking it through with us and making sure we understand what's important, where you want your lighting.
This one's about, I think it sparked from the previous appliance conversation. So can you tell me more about American appliances and European kitchens, how they work, I think is what the question is, how they work together?
Yeah. We can make it work. We always just need the final model number for that appliance. That's very important because even though if it's a 36 fridge, it does change the depth or the height or the how much do we need to have on the sides for it to open properly. So all we need is just the right final model and we can make it work. I haven't had any issues during installation. I think the most tricky one will be the dishwasher. I think Eva can agree. But it's just literally just reading the spec sheet and understanding, the possibilities of the appliance, and we can adjust our kitchen to your appliances.
Cool. And this one comes back to, I think it's related to talking about the sandy taupey kind of colors that are coming through. What are the popular counter colors at the moment? What's coming through? Or materials?
I was gonna say materials, it's been a lot of easy maintenance. Quartz is still high on that list, being easy to maintain. And porcelain's moving up there, and that being it's a little bit harder and a little bit more upfront cost on fabrication, but it's it's durable. So I think for a lot of my clients, it's really been how can I make this last? Natural stones can etch and stain if you don't seal them. So it's just really how can I be easy on myself and not have to work so hard in my kitchen.
This one's related, it looks like I guess it's layout related. So I really want a kitchen island. How long is too long? Yeah.
Well, usually when we're doing islands and we have an overhang, we want to have the island up to 126, which is usually the max width of a slab of quartz. So usually, because you don't want to have a seam in the kitchen island, I will say that probably 126 will be the max, but we can produce an island of 20 feet if you needed to. Other thing to take into consideration is the space and what's around it, because you don't want an island of 20 feet because you will have to walk 20 feet to actually go around your island, and that could be uncomfortable. So it's just a matter of analyzing your floor plan and what's around your kitchen. But I'll say anywhere between like 7 and 10 feet, it's pretty normal and pretty standard in the kitchen industry.
Here's another layout one. I'll throw this your way, Eva. So are there any layout mistakes that you would always avoid? So essentially, what are you trying not to do in a kitchen, I think is the question.
I try to avoid dead spaces. That's I want to give you the most functional space possible. And also I want to listen to how you use your space. Is it going to be a functional, usable kitchen that you cook and bake all the time? Or I like to ask, is it really just a takeout situation that you don't really cook? What are your needs? So maximizing function based on what's important to you is how I like to work.
And just to clarify, dead spaces, what does that mean for you? If I was your client, you'd be watching out for
like a non-functional corner, something that it's used space that's not functional. I don't want to give you anything that's not functional if I can help it.
Every inch counts. Renesis, how about you? I think this is probably we might have time for one more question. What about you in terms of planning your kitchen? Is there anything you try and avoid or are really critical in your mind when you're planning?
I will agree with Eva, like understanding how you use your kitchen, how big is your family, if you have kids, pets, how old are your kids, your plans for the property as well, like if you're going to move or is it going to be like an investment property. So all those details and those conversations, we'll have them in the first meeting just to make sure that we understand how you use it. Function, it's I think top priority for me as like always, because good design is functional design, so that's what we aim for. And same, like not wasting any space in the kitchen. That's the European kitchens basically they became so popular because European kitchens are pretty small, so the function in them, it's really out there. So that's how we thrive, I guess. That's my goal with every kitchen design.
Yeah, European kitchens do squeeze the most out of the space, that's for sure. American kitchens seem very generous.
They're more comfortable. Yeah, Yeah, they're a bit more comfortable than the other
They're
one.
amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah.
We will wrap up there. We're right on time. Renesis, Eva, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for attending. Thank you for the great questions. We'll get that recording out to you all. It's got my email address on the bottom. It'll also have contacts for either Renesis or Eva if you want to jump on a call. It's a free consultation. You can basically really focus on your project with them. Equally, drop me a line, drop me an email, and would love to hear more from you. Thanks for attending, everyone, and thank you, Nesta, for managing the IT. Okay. Good night, everybody.